Oh, good afternoon. Parents, grandparents, families, and new cadets who will become the class of 2022, VMI staff and faculty, and coaches. Welcome to the Institute and welcome to the VMI family. I'm very pleased to spend a few minutes with you this afternoon on this, the opening day of the 2018-2019 academic year, VMI's 179th year and the very beginning of your son or daughter's life as a VMI cadet. This morning, we matriculated 519 cadets from 30 states and 5 foreign countries. 60% are Virginian, 40% are from out of state. 87 are females. 104 are recruited NCAA athletes. 65% are majoring in math, science, and engineering, 35% in the pure liberal arts, with a grade point average of 3.70. This is the largest class in VMI's long history and very impressive in quality. This was a very competitive selection. Our congratulations to each of you. With me this afternoon is the senior leadership team at VMI, professionals with whom you and your cadet will soon become very familiar in the coming days, weeks, and months. And I will ask each of them to rise as their name is called. They are Colonel Robert W. Mareschi, Deputy Superintendent for Academics and Dean of the Faculty. Colonel Mareschi is a 1983 graduate in economics from Augusta College and received his doctorate from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign in economics with a concentration in finance and applied microeconomics. In 2002, after extensive experience in business, he joined the VMI faculty as a professor in finance, and in 2013 was elevated to the department head of the Economics and Business Department. A 16-year veteran of the faculty, he will be promoted to Brigadier General Tuesday, 21 August. Colonel Dallas Clark, Director of Finance, Administration, and Support. Colonel Clark graduated from VMI in 1999 with a degree in Economics and Business. He previously served with the VMI Alumni Association and as the Institute's Strategic Planning Officer before assuming his current position. Colonel Clark holds a master's degree in business from Virginia Commonwealth University. He is one of 5 Clark brothers to attend VMI, and he will be promoted to Brigadier General Tuesday as well. Colonel Clark. Colonel William J. Vonovich, Commandant of Cadets. Colonel Vonovich is a 1987 graduate of VMI who assumed duties as our Commandant following a very successful 27-year career in the United States Army. Colonel Vonovich commanded numerous infantry and supporting units throughout his career, which included multiple combat tours in Iraq. In his final active duty assignment, he served as Commander, VMI Army ROTC Detachment and Professor of Military Science. With your arrival, he now commences his 5th year of duty as VMI's Commandant of Cadets. Dr. David Diles, Director of Intercollegiate Athletics. Dr. Diles came to VMI in October 2013, having served in college athletic administration for over 20 years. He previously served as the athletic director at Eastern Michigan University, St. Bonaventure's University, and Case Western Reserve. Dr. Diles obtained his bachelor's and master's degree from Ohio University and was awarded a doctorate of education degree from the University of Michigan. Chaplain Colonel Bob Phillips, Institute Chaplain and Chaplain to the Corps of Cadets. Colonel Phillips graduated from VMI in 1987. Originally from Long Island, New York, he commissioned in the United States Army as a field artillery officer. His final posting was Command Chaplain, Tripler Medical Center in Honolulu, Hawaii, which completed a sterling U.S. Army career of more than 25 years. He holds a Master of Divinity from Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary, a Master of Science in Counseling from Columbus State University, and a master's degree in Strategic Studies from the United States Army War College. Sergeant Major William T. Sowers retired in June 2018 from the United States Marine Corps after 30 years of service, culminating as the Division Sergeant Major and Senior Command Non-Commissioned Officer in the famed 1st Marine Division at Camp Pendleton, California. He had an impressive, diversified career, with service on the front lines in combat, to drill sergeant duty, and command training responsibilities at the highest levels in the Marine Corps. Arriving at the Institute this month, he will have close involvement with the Corps of Cadets in terms of discipline, knowledge, appearance, leadership development, and the new cadet training program. Major Stephen E. Knepper is Assistant Professor, Department of English, Rhetoric, and Humanistic Studies with a doctorate in English Language and Literature from the University of Virginia in 2012. A rising star, he received VMI's prestigious Thomas Jefferson Teaching Award in 2016. He teaches writing and rhetoric, philosophy, and literature, and he will serve as the class advisor to the class of 2022 during all 4 years of their cadetship. Also joining us this afternoon are Tim and Tonette Hayes, co-chairs of the VMI Parents Council and residents of Virginia. Their son, Scott, is a cadet battalion commander and a member of the VMI class of 2019. I ask at this time that all Parents Council members in the audience please stand. And thank you. Thank you for your outstanding and outgoing support today and for all that I know you will be doing during this academic year. And lastly, Colonel James P. Inman, over here, VMI's Chief of Staff and graduate of the class of 1986, a career Army officer with 27 years of service. He earned a bachelor's degree from VMI in English and holds master's degrees in liberal arts from Louisiana State University and the National Defense University. A field artillery officer, he commanded an artillery battalion in combat, served as Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army ROTC Command, and commanded the National Capital Region Warrior Transition Brigade, responsible for all ill and wounded soldiers in the National Capital Region. He and his staff are responsible for Matriculation today and for the many activities that you will be involved in this year. I mentioned a few moments ago that your sons and daughters, although they will become VMI cadets today, will not immediately become the VMI class of 2022. Let me explain. At most colleges, as soon as a freshman enrolls in the institution, he or she is automatically a member of the class of a particular year, usually the year designated at graduation. At VMI, this designation is withheld from the entering class until it has met the challenges of our historic rat line and has been formally recognized by the upper 3 classes at the Institute. Only then, and this will take place early in 2019, will your cadets truly enter the Corps of Cadets as the class of 2022. This tradition, like so many others at the Institute, emphasizes and reinforces the idea that VMI is more than just a collection of individual students. VMI is a tight-knit community, an organic unity where a corporate spirit distinguishes it from most other colleges. It is a military college, an institute, a community structured around academic excellence and set in a military setting. The path your sons and daughters have chosen is not an easy one. It certainly will challenge them, cause them to grow and mature, and strengthen their character. This has characterized the VMI education since the Institute began in 1839, and thousands have gone before them. Life as a cadet is not just a set of trials and tribulations. Classmates soon get to know each other, and as people like to say today, they will bond. The brother rat spirit will eventually spread over the entire class, and individuals will begin to depend on others for friendship, help, encouragement, and guidance. Class unity will grow, and this bond with their brother rats will last a lifetime. Cadets are also famous for the humor they inject into this regimented life, and pride of accomplishment, whether it is at inspection, on parade, in the classroom, or on the playing fields, will grow. I can tell you from personal experience and watching this now for over 60 years, by the time that you return for Parents' Weekend a short 9 weeks from now, your sons and daughters will be filled with the spirit of VMI. You will notice a change in them, and frankly, a remarkable change. Bearing, appearance, confidence, toughness, politeness, priorities, and friendships. And the war stories clearly will also be on display. Today, you become a VMI cadet. Today, the exciting journey begins, which 4 years from now will culminate in graduation from the Virginia Military Institute. One of you will be appointed as the regimental commander. Another will be selected by your class as class president, which is a lifetime duty. And one of you will be voted the presidency of our cherished honor court and honor system. And a number of you will captain our athletic teams. 4 years from now, you will be fully prepared intellectually, physically, and in character to pursue whatever your personal goals and objectives are. The 4 years will pass quickly, but the effects of your education and your life at the Institute will remain with you for a lifetime. Today, the journey begins, and certainly all of us here wish you the very best for success. Thank you very much.
Okay, take a deep breath, relax for a minute. We'll get started here in just a few minutes. Welcome to VMI, Lexington, Virginia. I just start off with a little story. We're a school of leadership, great leadership here, and so we try to put that in all of our classrooms and all that we do here. So one of our rat classes had an assignment. The instructor said the rats were to go back to the barracks and think of a story and then reach a conclusion as to the moral of that story, and then they were to come in the next day and tell that story to the rest of the class. So little rat Susie raised her hand, the next day rat Susie raised her hand and she said, "My dad owns a farm, and every Sunday we load the chicken eggs on the truck and we drove into town to sell them. And then one Sunday we hit this big bump and all the eggs flew out of the basket and on the road and they broke. And so the instructor said, what's the moral of the story? Don't put all your eggs in one basket." All right? Makes sense, right? So next was rat Charlie. And Charlie said, "Well, my dad owns a farm too." We must have had a lot of farmers' kids that year. And every weekend we take the chicken eggs and we put them in an incubator. So last weekend, only 8 of the 12 hatched as chickens. And so the instructor, once again, what's the moral of the story? And little rat Charlie said, "Well, don't count your chickens before they're hatched." Makes sense, right? Okay. Well, little rat Billy was over there raising his hand wildly, and he was a wily little rat. But the instructor couldn't avoid him, and he says, "Go ahead, Rat Billy, tell me your story." He said, "Well, Uncle Ted fought in the war, and his plane was shot down over the enemy territory, and he was able to jump out with his parachute before it crashed, and on the way he grabbed his weapon, and he grabbed a machete, and he grabbed his bag. His bag happened to have a little jar of moonshine in it. And he jumped out there and he hit the ground and kind of got squared away and figured out where he was. But he was feeling a little sorry for himself and he drank that moonshine. Well, about that time, a whole company of enemy come in, about 100 of them. And he started fighting. And he fought at first. He took that weapon up and he took out 70 of that company of enemy soldiers. And he ran out of bullets. So he reached for his machete. And he started going after another group of the enemy soldiers. And he got to about 20 of them. And the machete blade broke. So he's back to his bare hands. And he took out the last 10 with his bare hands. And was able to walk away and tell the story. Well, the instructor was absolutely shocked. In awe, jaw on the ground. Couldn't imagine what the moral of the story was. He said, well, tell us, little Billy, tell us what the moral of the story was. And Billy said, don't mess with Uncle Ted after he's been drinking. Made a lot of sense to me. I'm Bill Wanovich. I'm a class of 87 graduate, and I began my Army career. Brought me back here in 2010, and I ran ROTC for 4 years, and then I retired from active duty, and I've been a commandant. This is my 5th year. My last day in the Army was my first day here. And I'm truly blessed to have the best job of anybody in higher education in our nation. It's been my distinct privilege, pleasure, and honor to be affiliated with VMI and all of you, these exceptional young men and women, all of you here, and all that I've been working with through these last years, and especially the cadre this last week. A recent valedictorian said it better than I ever could. VMI has molded us to embrace concepts that are contrary to what we see in the world around us. In an increasingly sensitive world, VMI has made us durable. In a chaotic world, even-keeled. In a self-centered world, selfless. And in a dishonest world, honorable. Our world is desperate for leaders with real honor and integrity. So I want to thank all of you for raising these young men and women with the values and the character typical and expected at VMI. And I appreciate so much that you allow us to share in their growth, maturity, and development over the next 4 years. Vince Lombardi said, gentlemen, we're going to relentlessly chase perfection, knowing full well that we will not catch it because nothing's perfect. We're going to relentlessly chase it because in the process we will catch excellence. I'm not remotely interested in just being good. It's our goal that you rarely ever hear the phrase, that's good enough, or you almost did it. Put it out of your mind right now. I can tell you it's not going to be good enough to the customer to bring in a major project almost on budget or almost on time. I can guarantee it's not going to be good enough to the military commander to almost bring everybody, all the soldiers back safely from a mission. And it's not going to be good enough to your instructors and faculty here that you almost finish your homework, almost turned it in on time, or almost to get to all the formations and classes that you're supposed to already be at. At VMI, arguably the toughest school in our nation, you'll soon find we're far better than good enough. As you can well imagine, doing 500 of anything isn't easy. And it should be very, very apparent to you that this process is good. It's smooth. It's well coordinated. There are plenty of people that provide good, clear instruction, direction, and the goodwill to be helpful. People are not rushed. Things are done correctly. They're done to a high standard. Those who participate are knowledgeable about the job that they're doing. They're competent. They're professional. They're rehearsed. And I think it says quite a bit about the excellence here at VMI. And if you really take a good look around, every agency performs in that manner on post. Grounds are squared away, buildings are clean, things are operating, and everything is well marked. You see that professionalism from the moment you arrive here through every facet of today's journey, including all of our administrative processes, the dean's office, our accomplished faculty, the ROTCs, the coaches, the teams, all the agencies and organizations represented here and in Cock Hall at the Matriculation Fair, and all the way down to the preparers in Crozet Hall. But you especially see this excellence in all the cadets and cadre. I absolutely love these 2 weeks, last week and this week. I get to live through and I get to see and experience so much self-motivated drive and determination. Continued attempts to strive for perfection in drill and instruction. I hope that it instills in you a very strong confidence of how we operate here. I hope that you're experiencing a strong sense of teamwork and professionalism that you would expect your son or daughter to receive throughout their VMI experience every single day. Please know this: easy happens somewhere else. The easy way is for someone else to do. Anyone can do what's easy. It's really not that special. Nothing in life is ever worth doing or achieving has ever come the easy way. Easy doesn't change you. By virtue of your decision to be here today, you're declaring that you want to be challenged. And I promise you that a challenge is what you'll get. You're telling us you desire to be pushed to your limits and oftentimes beyond in every area of discipline, academics, fitness, military bearings, and selfless service to others. That you don't want what your peers are doing, that you prefer a journey on a path less traveled. You want to be part of something very special at a place that is no ordinary college and among people who want no ordinary life or experience. Let me conclude with two guarantees. Please pay attention. Guarantees are pretty rare. The first guarantee is for success, both through the rat line at VMI, through your cadetship, and probably throughout life. Always, always, always give your very best effort and perform to the greatest and highest capability, no matter what the task might be. There's nothing sadder in life than a talent wasted for lack of effort. Once you've accomplished the task, either look for other ways to get better at it, find a tougher task, set a higher goal for yourself, or find someone else and help them out that's struggling. Be a leader, be a great teammate. And most importantly, and most emphatically, no matter what happens, not for any reason, never, ever, ever quit. The second guarantee involves our goal. We're going to meet right back here, 11 a.m., May 16th, 2022, with all of you parents and grandparents in the stands and all of you cadets right behind me. At that point, I guarantee that you will have been challenged and pushed in a way that gets you ready for a life of honor, integrity, and great success. I guarantee that you will be exceptionally prepared, resilient, and ready for service as leaders in our military, to immediately begin your civilian career, or to continue on to graduate level schooling. I guarantee that in your life after VMI, you will have a jump start over your peers, knowing that you can face, handle, and overcome the problems that life tends to throw at every single one of us. And I guarantee that you will have an experience of a lifetime, stories to tell about those experiences for decades, and a bond that is envied by folks from outside of VMI, but can only be understood by fellow alums and those who have walked the same path before you. I wish you good luck, Godspeed, and I welcome you to the Virginia Military Institute. Regimental Commander, post!
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Virginia Military Institute. My name is Benjamin Dixon, and I'm the Regimental Commander and Cadet First Captain of the Corps Cadets. I would like to begin by addressing the parents. As you look at your sons and daughters, understand that they are a direct reflection and therefore product of the values and morals you have instilled in them. You should take immense pride in what they've achieved to reach this point, and more importantly, what they're about to undergo. The process by which we will mold your sons and daughters will perhaps be the toughest challenge they have faced thus far. They will need your continued support for the next few months and into the upcoming years. I am humbled to lead them, and can assure you that they are in the safe and professional hands of my cadre. Men and women who value character and integrity over all else, and guardians of the rat line. For the rat mass of 2019+3, I commend you on your decision to attend VMI. We live in a world where integrity, ownership, and selflessness have been cast aside through shortcuts, greed, and a sense of entitlement. Most people have no idea what sacrifice truly means and don't understand the meaning of working wholeheartedly towards something that can only be earned. Our society is in desperate need of men and women who embody the very characteristics VMI instills, and you have taken that first step towards that call. One day you may join the ranks of our alumni, who have excelled in all walks of life. They have been molded by the rigors of VMI, and in turn have become the world's finest citizen soldiers. As vast as their accomplishments may reach, the foundation for their success lies on the very ground that you now walk. You are about to enter a system unlike any other. No program could achieve the balancing acts here at VMI. An uncompromised regimental and class system, an education from one of the top undergraduate institutions, and the world's strictest honor code. But make no mistake, this system comes at a price. You're about to enter the hardest school in the country. The strangers to your left and right you enter barracks with will become your strongest support system. You'll be tested in ways you can never imagine. But understand, for 179 years, cadets before you have endured this same system. Success is not guaranteed. I cannot promise that each of you will cross that stage in 4 years. But what I can promise is that you will all be given the tools needed to excel. If I were to offer you one piece of advice to achieve success at VMI, it would be to approach all obstacles with the mentality that you will not be outworked. You will be judged on the effort you put forth and the personal resolve you display. Embrace what is to come in these next 4 years. Greatness is upon you, and I expect that you act like it. When the days become long and that inner voice begins to torment your thoughts, draw upon your original motives and understand that you're at the finest institution this world has to offer. Always remember the morals and principles that guided you here. As General George Patton once said, the time to take counsel of your fears is before you make an important battle decision. That's the time to listen to every fear you can imagine. When you've collected all the facts and fears and made your decision, turn off all your fears and go ahead. Rats, it is your time to enter the arena we all call VMI. Go forth and achieve what you came here to accomplish. Good luck. Alpha Company Commander, pull!
Alpha Company Corporals, post! I am the Alpha Company Commander. I am Cadet Captain Adam Josephson. I'm responsible for the training and well-being of your sons and daughters. With the help of my cadre, I will transform them into model VMI cadets. On my command, those of you in the audience with the letter A on your tag come to the floor and report to the company guidon. Alpha Company reps! Fall in!
Bravo Company Commander. I am Cadet Captain Nicholas Williams. I am responsible for the training and well-being of your sons and daughters. With the help of my cadre, I will transform them into model VMI cadets. On my command, those of you in the audience with the letter B on your tag, come to the floor and report to the Bravo Company guidon. Bravo Company reps! Follow in! Charlie Company Corporal, ho!
I'm the Charlie Company Commander. I'm Cadet Captain Anthony Sposato. I'm responsible for the training and well-being of your sons and daughters. With the help of my cadre, I will transform them into model VMI cadets. On my command, those of you in the audience with the letter C on your tag, make your way to the floor and report to the Charlie Company guidon.
Charlie Company reps! Fall in!
I am the Delta Company Commander. I am Cadet Captain Dylan Serball. I am responsible for the training and well-being of your sons or daughters. With the help of my cadre, I will transform them into model VMI cadets. On my command, those of you with the letter D on your tag, come to the floor and report to the Delta Company Guide-On. Delta Company Rex, fall in!
Band Company Corporal, hold. I am the Band Company Commander. I am Cadet Captain Oladuku J. Ekundaya. I am responsible for the training and well-being of your sons and daughters. With the help of my cadre, I will transform them into model VMI cadets. On my command, those of you in the audience with the letters BD on your tag, come to the floor and report to the Band Company Guide-On. Band Company Rex, fall in!
Echo Company Corporal, pull! I'm the Echo Company Commander. I'm Cadet Captain Seamus O'Connell. I am responsible for the training and well-being of your sons and daughters. With the help of my cadre, I will transform them into model VMI cadets. On my command, those of you with the letter E on your name tag will come down to the floor and report to the Echo Company Guide-On. Echo Company Rex, fully!
Hendren. I'm responsible for the training and well-being of your sons and daughters. With the help of my cadre, I will transform them into model VMI cadets. On my command, those of you in the audience with the letter F on your name tag, come to the floor and report to the Foxtrot Company Guidon. Foxtrot Company rats, fall in. Foxtrot Company, parade, rest.
I am the Golf Company Commander. I am Cadet Captain Nathan D. Kirk. I am responsible for the training and well-being of your sons and daughters. With the help of my cadre, I will transform them into model VMI cadets. On my command, those of you in the audience with the letter G on your tag, come to the floor and report to the Golf Company Guidon. Golf Company rats, fall in! Golf Company, parade, rest.
Hotel Company corporals, post. I am the Hotel Company Commander. I'm Cadet Captain Calvin A. Lawson. I am responsible for the training and well-being of your sons and daughters. With the help of my cadre, I will transform them into model VMI cadets. On my command, those of you in the audience with the letter H on your tags, come to the floor and report to the Hotel Company Guidon. Hotel Company rats, fall in! Indian Company Corporals, post!
I am the Indian Company Commander. I am Cadet Captain Jack Thomas Casey. I am responsible for the training and well-being of your sons and daughters. With the help of my cadre, I will transform them into model VMI cadets. On my command, all of you in the audience with an I on your tag will report to the Indian Company Guidon. Indian Company rats, fall in!
Company, march, march!